we went to go get dinner on Sunday, and we're playing. There's a playlist that's called Big Booty Mix,
Hmm.
and it's just like it's a bunch of house music and like
Yeah.
meme sounds, whatever. So I was like, hey, like just play your whatever your favorite Disney song is, play that next, and that will get the people going. Like that'll get me excited. Um, and we have the same favorite Disney song. I'll Make a Man Out of You, Mulan.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So we belted that out. It was electric.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Chris Rose Football Show with C.J. Uzomah. He is back with us. The Jets sitting at 7-4. We got a lot to talk about in that world because, boy, it has been a crazy few weeks up there. But let's start with what we want to talk about. We're taping this literally 90 minutes before the USA and Iran kick it off in the World Cup. I know you're a big soccer head. You'll be glued to the set like me, won't you?
Oh, 100%. I got some of the boys. We're gonna watch it together. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Who's coming over?
I'm actually gonna go to their spot. It's gonna be me, Braxton. Hopefully, Brax if he's not doing anything with Soph, but and then Mike White and Dan are probably just gonna watch it and hang out and have a good time and root on the boys.
All right. So how's that going over in the in the locker room? I mean, is the World Cup a big thing? Is it not?
No, I mean, for me it is, right? Like I'm a huge
Right.
soccer fan, but for the guys, like majority of them, they watch the World Cup. They watch international play. They want to watch like the US, obviously, like you got national pride. But even some of the guys too, like I was talking to Flacco about it, and Flacco is just like, he's like, why are we doing this? Why the hell would we do that? Like he's mad about certain like style of play. I'm like, well, dude, like, we're playing against England. England's a really good team. Like the fact that we came out of that with the draw is huge. And he's like, no, we should win. Like that's stupid. And I'm like, look, I'm with you. I want to win also, but like for the group standings, it's not a terrible outcome.
Right.
So yeah, so there's mixed emotions about soccer for sure.
I mean, I love the World Cup. I don't get into it that much outside of it. I wish I could. Have you been to soccer matches overseas?
I've been to one. I was in Holland, and so I went to an Ajax game.
Oh, Ajax.
And that was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah. Is there a place where you're like, I've got to check that off? I want to go.
Well, I mean, I want to go to the bridge. I want to see Chelsea play, at Chelsea. I need to see that happen for sure. But other than that, I mean, if you watch a match at the bridge, for me, that's I mean, yeah, probably going to Barcelona and Real, like going to go into those two stadiums would probably be one of the cooler experiences for sure too.
All right. So I imagine you had practice last week during the England game, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
So what'd you do?
I mean, I got updates. So so we practiced early, and so we're in meetings during that time. But the way that the tight end room is positioned is it's right next to the video guys. And so the video guys have it on their projector. Like every time you walk in, they have like Good Morning Football, whatever, like any football related sports, whatever. And so the first thing that I said when the World Cup was starting was, boys, we gotta have the matches up at all time. And they're like, no, we got you, especially when the US is playing, we got you. And so yeah, throughout the duration of that match, like when I'm sitting down, I would be able to hear if something were to happen. And they say like, hey, we knock or whatever, and like tell you guys if something happens. But it was uneventful, so like I didn't miss much.
Right. Do you have a second favorite team to watch?
That's a good question. I think this World Cup I like watching France. Last World Cup it was Belgium.
Okay.
And then there's too much strife going on in that locker room. So I enjoy watching France. They're a fun side to play or to watch and to watch play. So I'd say maybe France.
Okay. There was an interesting soundbite that came out yesterday. We have a 23-year-old captain, Tyler Adams, who was asked this by a reporter as Team USA got ready to face off against Iran.
You say you support the Iranian people, but you're pronouncing our country's name wrong. Our country is named Iran, not Iran. Please, once and for all, let's get this clear. Second of all, are you okay to be representing a country that has so much discrimination against black people in its own borders? And we saw the Black Lives Matter movement over the past few years.
My apologies on the mispronunciation of your country. Yeah, that being said, there's discrimination everywhere you go. One thing that I've learned, especially from living abroad in the past years and having to fit in different cultures, is that in the U.S. we're continuing to make progress every single day. I grew up in a white family with obviously an African American heritage and background as well. So I had a little bit of different cultures, and I was very very easily able to assimilate in different cultures. So not everyone has that ease and the ability to do that, and obviously it takes longer to understand. And through education, I think it's super important. Like you just educated me now on the pronunciation of your country. So yeah, it's a process. I think as long as you see progress, that's the most important thing.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think one, he handled that beautifully. It was very like when I saw it the first time, like the first half, I didn't even listen to what he was saying initially, what Tyler Adams was saying, because I was so upset with the way that the reporter had worded his question. And you could tell he was fishing for something, right? Like he was, to me, you could tell like, it's like, hey, so like, let's get this straight. Like, this is how you pronounce the country's name. Like you could already tell there was, there was malintent, I feel like, with how he was approaching talking. And so, yeah, I think Tyler, he said, he worded it beautifully. I think, I would hope to have that much composure when responding to a question that comes off that aggressively. But yeah, I think, man, especially someone who like he and some of the guys on the team who have to go overseas and have to, adapt and pick up on other cultural things. And yeah, like he said, he was able to assimilate a little bit because he was, he has African background, but he was born up and, brought up in a white family, and, progress is being made and things like that. Like, I love that. I love that answer. I agree with that. I think, as a country in general, we need to continue to make, strides and progress in the right direction. And I think he puts it well in saying it's like that everywhere. It's obviously in the States, we see it because it's within our own borders. But going overseas, there are things that there's progress that needs to be made within the world, not just, in the United States. So yeah, I think, man, I don't know if I could have said that any better. I don't know if anybody could have said anything better than how he articulated it.
At 23 years old, like that's A++ what he did. The thing I loved most about his comments was that as long as we're always learning, and he goes, look, you just taught me something. Right. Yeah. He brought it back full circle without any animosity whatsoever, and taking the high road, because you're right. I didn't love the way that part of the question was brought up.
Right.
It could have been very simple. Hey, listen, even though you say that you back the, Iranian people, you're mispronouncing the name of the country wrong. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Would have been an easier way to go about it.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I did appreciate it. Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was that's like a master class. Like if you're teaching kids in college about communication skills, bring that one up.
Yeah, 100% every time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Your head coach, I always feel like is one of the guys in the NFL who communicates clearly. He had to do that last week when you guys made a big move with a quarterback change. I'm curious about how that went down in the locker room. Were you surprised when it was announced?
I don't think anybody just knew. We didn't know what was going to happen. To be honest, I think surprise is an interesting adjective to use. I would just say we we felt like something was going to happen, some change was going to happen. I didn't know what it was, and to what extent it was going to be, but yeah, it was, you know, he was kind of matter of fact about it when we had our team meeting, and he said, you know, we actually didn't know he was going to come out to the press and say anything, but he wanted, you know, like you said, he's a very well-spoken person, and he said, hey, I wanted to get that out so that all the questions can come back to me. If somebody comes up to you and says anything, put it on me for this week. Like, let's just let's what's going on in this locker room, stay what's going on in this locker room, and I'll handle everything else. And I loved that. I was like, wow, this is great for all parties that are involved with what's going on right now. So yeah, that's kind of how it was approached. I don't know what anybody thought was going to happen, but yeah, I think we've handled it fairly well as a team.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, really, this is the one part of a team that can get torn apart, right? It's if you change the left guard or a nickelback, nobody's going, all right, now hold on here.
Right.
But it's when it's the number 2 overall pick from the draft a year ago, the guy who's supposed to be a franchise savior, particularly a guy who has not played well by his own admission. Right. And then he has a boo-boo at a press conference after losing to the Patriots. First of all, did you even know that he had said, you know, when asked about, did you feel like you let the defense down? He goes, no. Did you know about that had happened?
Yeah, we knew it happened. I think that the team, like, right when it happened, I think everyone knew that it happened because it came out pretty quick on social media.
Got it. When that happens and you're a guy you're a leader, did you go up to him?
Yeah, well, I didn't go up to him. So, like, because after the game, we're on our buses and we're all on different buses. And so we get off the bus, hit the airplane. I go straight to the airplane, get on your same bus that you were on. So, like, I'm not seeing him. And then get to, like, you just go home. You go your separate ways, essentially. Right. And so I texted him later that night. And then Monday after we had film, I texted him. And then I texted him on Tuesday night, just like, hey, man, like, this was before anything happened, right? I don't know what was going on. Wednesday was when we found out about the quarterback change. I texted him Tuesday night, just like, hey, man, just letting you know, like, obviously, you rubbed the team the wrong way. Just I'd say something if I were you, like, whatever. Just kind of address it, and he did. And again, I texted that not knowing anything had happened and that was going to happen, and he and Mike had already known by the time that I had texted him. And he texted me on Wednesday morning, pretty early. He wakes up stupidly early. But he texted me early, said, hey, yeah, I'd already planned to say something. I'm gonna say something today, like, after Salah has, like, talks. And I was like, after Salah talks, we usually don't have a team meeting. So then I already kind of, like, antennas were up, and then Salah had made his announcement, and then the coaches left, and then Zach addressed the team. And that was big of him. Like, that was, like, that to me, especially after Salah said, hey, like, we're gonna make a change for right now. Him, like, getting up there, like, very emotional, rightfully so. I would have been emotional, and I'm not like you said, the number 2 pick, the franchise player. And yeah, he apologized to the team, put the onus on himself and on his shoulders, and yeah, that was a crazy couple of days.
You go up to him afterward and tell him good job?
Yeah, everyone, like, not everyone, but, you know, a lot of guys were like, yeah, appreciate it, whatever. And then individually, there was, like, a little line that, like, dapped him up and said, we appreciate you, and we appreciate you saying that. And yeah, that was, he gained a lot of respect from the players from that gesture.
You know, it's hard. I think we think that the minute guys become really wealthy, that they should have everything figured out. And the truth is we don't. You know, like, I was doing stupid shit. I don't know if he's 22 or 23. And it's got to be hard. I'm not saying that, listen, the guy's got a lot of great opportunity, right? He's a quarterback in New York City. He's going to have 30 million guaranteed, all that sort of stuff. So a lot of good comes with it.
Right.
But the ability to fuck up is not always there.
Yeah. And yeah, like, he's 23, turned 23, like, I think right when the season started, or right before the season started. Has a lot of growing to do, has a lot of growing pains that he's going to go through, and this is going to be one of them. Yeah, like you said, like when I was 23, I wasn't in New York, I was in Cincinnati, and I was fucking up. I was doing things that, like in hindsight, I'm like, why was I so young? And like, I wish I would have grown up way quicker than that. But to your point, like, yeah, people just expect, all right, you need to be on, like, you need to have your shit together. Like, you have all this, like, whatever. And it's like, not really. Like, the people that say that too, I'm like, what were you doing when you were 23?
Right.
Like, like having that, like, people that have, like Tyler Adams, they expect us to be and hold ourselves to that standard the entire time, when that's the outlier. Like, he's the captain of the United States American team for a reason, because he is that outlier, and they want every NFL player to be that outlier. And it's like, well, hold on, we're people too. Like, we're learning and growing, and growing up just as much as you did when you were that age, or you are when you're that age now. So yeah, it's a process, and I think he's learning.
With that being said, I know you're pretty close with Mike White. And when he got the call, I mean, did he call you afterward? He's like, I'm the dude now.
Nah, he we're I'm happy as anything for Mike. We're all happy for Mike. He works his ass off. Uh and even during games, he'll come up. I don't know who all he comes up to, but he will come up to the tight ends and say, hey, like, just letting you know that was a good route, blah, blah, blah. We see it. Like, he'll start talking to us a little bit. Just saying, hey, we see everything that's going on. We see the things that you're doing. We're going to come back to it. Like, just settle down, like, keep your emotions in check, whatever. And I'm like, hey, you got to come up to us and tell us that. Like, we are the one position group that will have our emotions in check, but we appreciate it. That's something that you like to see. So, yeah, no, like, when we found out, we were ecstatic for him, and we could tell that he was equally as excited for the opportunity. And I think it's safe to say he took advantage of the opportunity that was given to him.
When you see it all clicking like it did Sunday through the raindrops against Chicago, you sit there and you're like, this is what we can be offensively. Like, it's not just a good defense.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we know we have the pieces. We know, I think that was, as a collective, aside from one kickoff return play, that was as good as a unit and a team that I think we played the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we were able to run the ball, we ran the ball efficiently. There were I don't remember how many penalties we had, maybe like two, maybe three. And so we didn't, no self-inflicted wounds, no turnovers. We fumbled on the sideline, got it back. We won the turnover battle. Like, things like that just came together. And we're playing against a team, obviously they caught the injury bug, and it's very unfortunate for them, but we were able to build ourselves. We took a step in the right directions for ourselves. And so, yeah, it's exciting to see that. It's exciting. Shoot, I was having fun run blocking with Conk. Me and Conklin were out there just like dapping each other up after run plays. We were excited. And that's what you want, especially in a game like that, where, to be honest, like, third quarter, rain started coming down pretty heavy, and we're on the bench, like, the tight ends are on the bench, defense is out there, and we're just like, no, this is not happening. Like, is it going to be like this the rest of the game? Like, please, for the love, just stop raining. So, yeah, it was a fun game to be a part of, and especially offensively, it was fun to kind of catch a stride.
All right. Somebody brought it to my attention that Mike White has similarities to Maroon 5 lead singer Adam Levine. So, do you see it?
No,
or
shot.
No?
No shot.
None?
No, I don't know. No. We're not giving Mike that credit for sure. There's no shot I'm giving him that credit.
You don't even see just a little bit.
No, look at Mike's face is a little wider.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not giving it to him. I'm gonna be honest.
Somebody mentioned it to me the other day, and I was like, huh, interesting.
I think maybe just in that particular moment we can say yes.
Okay.
But anytime outside of that, I don't see it as much.
See if he can sing a little bit at work. Next
I
time
don't think he can sing at all.
Yeah, probably
But
not.
I will say this. We went to go get dinner on Sunday, and we're playing there's a playlist that's called Big Booty Mix.
Hmm.
And it's just like it's a bunch of house music and like
Yeah.
meme sounds, whatever. So I was like, hey, like just play whatever your favorite Disney song is, play that next, and that will get the people going. Like that'll get me excited. And we have the same favorite Disney song. I'll Make a Man Out of You, Mulan.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So we belted that out. It was electric.
No, you didn't. You belted
Oh
it
my
out?
God, of course we did. Are you kidding me?
Really? Lit it up? Where was this?
It was in the car. It was
Oh,
he and his wife. No, it was on the way to dinner. It was he and his
okay.
wife, myself, and Chris Strevler and his fiance or his girlfriend. And on the way there, we were having a good time.
Okay. Nice. I have watched closely the schedule for the Jets. 4 of your last 6 are on the road, and it ain't easy. It's Minnesota, Buffalo. I know you finish at Miami, and I think you got to stop in Seattle.
Yep.
And then you have home games against Detroit and Jacksonville.
Yep.
You don't do you know what us fans do when you're team 7-4, right? Like
Look
we
ahead,
sit there,
try to figure out the playoff scenario.
Absolutely. We're like, okay, if we go 3-3, that gets us to 10-7. We got a shot. You guys don't even that whole one game at a time thing. Like that's real, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was having a conversation. I ended up watching. I started watching a new show, Succession,
Mm-hmm.
and I was watching with my girlfriend, and she brought up the Super Bowl. She was like, hey, so like, out of curiosity, like if you all don't make it, would you still go? And like started asking me all these questions. And I was just like, I had no answer. I was like, I don't know. I don't think that far in advance. Like I have no idea. And she kept going. And I was like, hey, listen, I'm just gonna stop you right here. I don't look past this week. You can ask me a bunch of questions and I'm not gonna have an answer because I don't look past this week. For me, I know one thing and one thing only, and that's that we play Minnesota at Minnesota. And we're indoors, and that's the only thing that's in my mind is that we get to play indoors for the first time. I'm excited. I don't have to deal with the elements of the weather right now, let alone what's going on, elsewhere. So, yeah, no, I don't think, for the most part, I don't think anybody thinks about it like that or looks too far ahead, because once you do that and you're like, all right, nice, like we're allowed to lose this many games, right. And it's like, well, then you lose one and you're like, okay, we're cool. Like we're good. We're fine. As opposed to, attacking it, the way you should. So yeah, I think it's really an afterthought for the most part. Because as long as we keep winning, I know personally, as long as we keep winning, we control, our fate. And if we slip up or think like, hey, we can lose a couple games, then it's in the hands of other teams having to do this and having to do that. So, yeah, for me personally, I'm focused on getting to play indoors in Minnesota.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You'd be nice and toasty inside.
Nice and toasty. Don't have to deal with cold, wind, rain, nothing. Just indoors.
I'll tell you this. That place is loud and the whole skull.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah. So I got to play there once, and it was we got blown out. But here in the Skull, Teddy Bridgewater, it was his first game back, I think, from his injury.
Oh, wow.
And so they put him in at the end of the game, and that was the loudest I'd heard a place. I was like, this is ridiculous. So yeah, no, I know it's going to be loud.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like to hear that. We are about positivity on this show. I am curious because you so rarely see teams lose the way that you guys did in New England. Basically, it was like a walk-off punt return for a touchdown. It's the equivalent, if you're a baseball fan out there, to a walk-off grand slam, but if you only played 17 games a year instead of 162. And I know you were on the punt coverage team. I saw it, right? You're out there. When that play is unfolding and he gets past you and you're looking, you're like, holy shit, did that really just happen? Is that what it was, basically?
Yeah. Yeah, essentially. And I beat myself up pretty good on it because, just leverage and things like that, things that you're like coached on. And yeah, I ended up I ended up talking to the special teams unit before like after a Thursday practice that we had, because I kind of just wasn't happy with the way that we approached that game in general. And had some things that I had to like express and get off my chest, and put, the coach kind of put the onus and put that coverage on a couple other guys. But I took that time to just like put it on me, because it's something that I'm like, hey, look, if I'm going to preach, hey, like we have to do this, I'm going to start by saying I fucked up. Like I put us in a bad position by not being exactly where I needed to be. Albeit, they had a good return for us for what it was. But yeah, when that's going on, you immediately turn around and you're just like, there's no way. Like, this isn't really happening. You kind of like look back, like, is there a flag? Is there going to be a flag? How much? Like nothing. Like, so yeah, it was to be honest, it's kind of like I feel how Bama felt when we hit that kick six on them. Like honestly, like you're just kind of like you're stunned. Like that did not just happen.
Yeah, thought that's what it probably was.
Yeah.
You guys had Thanksgiving. Obviously, I know that you guys probably have an early practice, so you can go enjoy. Mm-hmm. What'd you end up doing?
So my family came into town.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Mom and dad actually came from the New England game and stayed here for the week.
Oh,
so that was a lot. No, I loved it. They got to they watched my dog, which was awesome for me. But yeah, so they were here. My uncle and cousin were here, and then my grandmother came into town. So yeah, we had a really good time. Some good food. I'm glad I went out and got a ham, because the turkey was not ready in time. So when I was out of practice, like everything was getting made and prepared, and I come back home and I was like, all right, nice. Like, how long until we eat? And they're like, yeah, probably an hour. And the turkey was nowhere near being done. So we ate with the ham. I took a nap. Dad took a nap. Like we're all like hanging out, taking naps, whatever. We wake up and then the turkey's done. So you have 2 meals. It was great, but yeah, no, it was a good time. It's awesome that I got to spend it with family. I know some of the guys ended up having people over who didn't have family in the town. I think there were like 3 get-togethers with like 12 to 15 to 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a good time.
That's nice. Is there what is the one must-have for you on Thanksgiving, food-wise?
I need my grandmother's broccoli and cheese casserole.
Ooh,
like everyone's talking about this. Everyone's talking about this green bean casserole, and I understand. Like, oh yeah, green bean. No, I need my grandma's broccoli and cheese. It is absolutely phenomenal, and it's the one thing that I love. Like on the plate, mixing it a little bit with the sweet potato casserole too. It's perfect.
That's nice.
How about you? What do you need?
For me, I have to admit, Michelle's sister Denise makes the yams. They're candied yams. It's like an extra dessert for me. So I'm
right,
just,
of course.
Everybody's got the sides that's, instead of passing them all over the place, you kind of keep it here and we bring the plates over. The yams are always parked in front of me.
I love that.
Always.
I love that.
Way, just in case nobody's seeing, I can add an extra scoop here or there. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I know this is a big week for you. We've talked about your love of Broadway.
Yeah.
We have the opening coming.
Yeah, the opening's December 1st. And so yeah, I'm gonna be able to go to that. I'm excited.
For people that don't know, this is Broadway, off Broadway. What is this?
Yeah, it's Broadway. It's I actually went to go see a play. I saw a musical of 6, and I was looking in their playbill, and it was cool because it said, like, it has the other Broadway plays that are currently out, and it said Aint No Mo, and had the theater and all, and I was just like, this is so sick. Like, this is awesome that I get to be a part of this. So yeah, it's exciting. And have my family, when they come back out, come watch it with me. But yeah, the premiere is the 1st, and I'm gonna get to go to it and yeah, get to see everybody's initial reaction to it.
Are you a producer on it?
I'm an executive producer.
Okay. For people that aren't familiar with the story, just give us a little synopsis so in case people are curious and they want to go see it when they're in the NYC.
Yeah, it's essentially it's kind of talking about how like you as a Black person, you would get a one-way plane ticket to go back to Africa. And it's like, hey, you have this once in a lifetime opportunity to go back to Africa, and stay there forever. You don't get to stay here, but if you stay here, you lose like your heritage or your culture, excuse me, of being an African American. And so then it talks about, okay, well, what is your culture? Like, what do you understand your culture? Do you know where your ancestors came from? Like, what exactly is that? And so it's done in a very funny way, but also like in the middle and end, it kind of makes you think a lot about like, wow, like what is your identity as an African American? Like what kind of like what is that culture? And so yeah, it's done in a great way. Lee Daniels, being able to talk to him, he's the producer. And this is his first play as well. And so like he's excited. He's every time I talk to him about it, he's smiling ear to ear. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see it all come to life. I hadn't been able to watch it in its entirety. I've only seen bits and pieces when I went down to the city. But from what I've seen, it's amazing. It's hilarious, and it pulls out the heartstrings for sure a little bit.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it. I like things that make you think too.
Yeah.
So I wish you luck. I'm sure you'll have great nervous energy when that curtain comes up.
1,000%.
Yeah. Any of your teammates coming?
Not to the opening, but I have talked to a lot of them, and I'm going to make sure a lot of them come see it with me.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I wish you luck with that. Enjoy playing indoors against the Vikings this week.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and then it's Buffalo, right? After that, I know you're not allowed to look ahead, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
What week is this? What week is this? This is
week 13.
Okay, yeah, so it might be Buffalo.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I do know that we play Seattle on New Year's.
Yes.
So those are the two games that I know right now.
Yeah, that Rob Scirocco said that. Yeah, it goes Buffalo, Detroit, Jacksonville, then Seattle, and then I think you finish in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we play Detroit at home?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Sorry.
We have 2 back-to-back homes.
But no dome.
Yeah, no dome. Yeah, but hold on. Oh, wait. I did know we played Jacksonville because Jacksonville is a Thursday night game, and I'll actually, for the second time in my career, have Christmas off.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that.
We'll talk about that next time, what your plans are for the holidays.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So good luck with the play opening.
Thank you.
Good luck this week against the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be watching that one closely. It's a great slate of games, by the way, this weekend. I know you don't care about that stuff. I do, since I work in the NFL. You got like your old team playing host to the Chiefs. Miami's out at San Francisco. Buffalo's Thursday night against the Patriots. There's a ton of really good games this week.
So, yeah, I knew the Buffalo Pats, and I knew the Bengals and Chiefs. I didn't know Miami and San Fran. That'll be a good one. That'll be a really good game.
And that's one of those games that it's hidden. It's at 4:05 Eastern.
Okay.
Very little of the country is going to get a chance to see it. It's not a national game.
Right.
So
no, I'm gonna have close. I mean, we're gonna have to have close eyes on that one.
Yeah. Be interesting. Interesting. Well, I hope you get to fly first class home. Well, you get to fly first class regardless. I hope all of your teammates get to enjoy flying back first class with you. That would mean that the JETS get another dub. Yes. So thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you always sharing your time with us. Go Team USA. Do you have a prediction for us? I know this will be done by the time we're actually released, but
for sure. But I think prediction-wise, Iran needs just a draw. I think we come out pretty hot. I think 3-1 US. 3-1. We're going to come out hot. I'm telling you right now, we're going to come out on fire.
Well, we have to. I will say this. We better.
Yeah.
Like we have to put pressure on them.
Very quickly.
Make mistakes.
Very early. Yeah.
Yeah. I want us to make it to the knockout round. I can't stand it when we're not in the knockout round.
Right. It just makes everything just so much. Like, I love soccer, but it's just like,
I know.
Also, real quick, it is soccer now because we drew with England. So, like, it's not football. I don't care what anybody says, it's soccer.
That's funny. That's funny. For our one-of-a-kind, amazing, legendary producer, Robbie Scirocco, and C.J. Uzomah, who you can see at a dome near you this coming Sunday in Minneapolis. I am Chris Rose. We will see you next time on the Chris Rose Football Show with C.J. Uzomah.